Iran shot down plane full of Canadians intentionally in act of terrorism, Ontario judge rules.
Here's a summary of the article.
A jury will now decide how much Iran should pay the victims. Iran intentionally shot down an airliner packed with Canadian citizens and residents more than a year ago in an act of terrorism, an Ontario judge has ruled, adding judicial heft to allegations the crash was not just a tragic accident. Iran did not defend the suit, the court declaring it in default. In a long-awaited report issued this March, Iranian authorities claim the plane was shot down after being misidentified as a hostile target due to human error. Unlike the remaining class action suit, it did not just allege mere negligence by Iran, but a deliberate attack, which would make it liable under the Justice for Victims of Terrorism Act. The judge also said that there was no armed conflict in the region at the time, an exception that would have prevented the Victims of Terrorism Act from applying to the case. Another possibility could arise if Canada and Iran decide to resume some form of diplomatic relations, as has been widely rumored.
This post received a score of 54,000, with an upvote ratio of 87%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The husband whose ticket wasn't valid, but his wife got on the flight. Reading that absolutely tore my heart out. There really are no words, and no amount of money in the world to right this wrong. What's even worse, the first hit didn't kill them.
God damn. So they ripped apart and then hit the ground?
They fired twice like a minute or so apart if I remember right.
They had to make sure, these terrorists.
One of my customers at work, Canadian CEO, died in this tragedy. He was one of the nicest people that I've encountered in my industry. My heart broke when I heard about his family that he left behind and that he was on this plane.
That is so sad, sad face. God, I hate the fact that we have people in the world who would do this kind of thing. I hope one day it is a thing of the past, though if it is, I doubt it will be in our lifetime. I do hope we at least make progress to build a world where that kind of future is possible.
Can military really misidentify a Boeing for a warplane? I'm just hearing about this incident.
This isn't the first time it has happened. A radar blip looks the same.
On September 1, 1983, the South Korean airliner servicing the flight was shot down by a Soviet Su-15 interceptor. Greater than Iran Air Flight 655 was a scheduled passenger flight from Tehran to Dubai via Bandar Abbas that was shot down on 3 July 1988 by an SM-2MR surface-to-air missile fired from USS Vincennes, a guided missile cruiser of the United States Navy. The jet was hit while flying over Iran's territorial waters in the Persian Gulf, along the flight's usual route, shortly after departing Bandar Abbas International Airport, the flight's stopover location. Greater than Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, MH17, was a scheduled passenger flight from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur that was shot down on 17 July 2014 while flying over eastern Ukraine.
With Flight 007, they didn't mistake what plane it was, they just thought it was a spy plane.
How do I know this? Aside from the manifest, it was a big deal in Ukraine because this is a common route that Ukrainians fly when visiting home. I was in Ukraine right before this happened, visiting my fiancé, and decided to fly back via the Middle East due to some booking issues with my ticket. I talked myself down and told myself I was over-exaggerating the risk in my head. Got home the next day. 2 days later, Flight PS-752 was shot down while flying a very, very similar route to the flight path my aircraft took.
I have a similar story, but this happened in India. My dad, cousin, and I were staying at the Taj Mahal Hotel in Mumbai. We left a day earlier, November 25, 2008, than we were booked because my grandma fell down some stairs and hurt herself pretty badly. The next day the Mumbai terror attacks happened.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.